What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. It's going to be one of those somewhat boring videos where I'm just talking and updating news and talking about a lot of things. Things that I just wanted to talk about. None of them really worth making a video on their own, but collectively probably make a little decent video talking about all these subjects, which is why I named this what I named it. I figure there's going to be someone out there that has an idea of what's going to be in it, and there's probably going to be a lot more than you bargained for. So anyway, obviously it's been a bit slow. Now last year when I sort of tried to keep everyone updated and made a lot of these update videos, sort of updating on the work and the business and our health and stuff, a lot of people were getting the shits, didn't like it, thought it was a big whinge fest. Obviously I know probably 99% people don't give a rat's, but obviously things like this directly affect the content and what happens. So I figure an update just so that you know why the content's slow, where we're at, where everything, and you know, a bit of an update on where everything is. So first things, the giveaway. People still waiting for merch. Cannot apologize enough for this, guys. As I've said before, it was all taken care of by a third-party fulfillment company. I'm not super stoked with how fulfillment's been handled, like how long it's taken. It wasn't the original deal. It wasn't meant to take this long. So I cannot apologize enough for that, guys. It is incredibly frustrating that it's not in my control. But all I can do is basically keep chasing this up with this business. A lot of people know who the business is. There's nothing personal. I think he's a great dude. Still get along with him really well, but you know, as far as business goes, it's not been good for business because it reflects bad on us. And I am very, you know, sort of pretty unhappy with how it's all been handled and how long it's taken for so much of this stuff to get out. So I do apologize for that. Obviously, we were meant to be well into probably our third giveaway for the year by now, but I'm not launching obviously anymore until everyone's got their stuff. As long as people are still waiting for what they've paid for, there won't be anything else happening. That's just how it's going to be. So working towards that, working through that. Do have plans for the next giveaway, which we are working towards. But outside of that, we've had a pretty crap last month. As you can see, HQ is still here. Little elephant in the room there. Obviously, we didn't make the deadline. There's a few reasons for that. A lot of them to do with my health, and a lot of them to do with just things that didn't show up when they were supposed to show up and got lost, which we'd taken a long time to track down and get back here. So frustrating, but it is coming along. It's very close. And it's sort of knocked on quite a few other things. So just before Easter, I perforated my eardrum, had half my brains leaking out of my ear for a while. I'm still deaf in one ear. It's very annoying. It's also very painful. And then a couple of weeks ago, I was just chasing the young fella around the skate park and completely cooked my foot, cooked my ankle. Now, I tried to keep working through my ankle issue, but it just kept getting worse. I spent 2 weeks just trying to work through it, and it just kept getting worse and worse. So sort of decided I had to commit to sort of spending a bit of time off my ankle in order for it to actually hopefully get better so that I can get back to working properly rather than hobbling around with a cane like an old man. So I've managed to sort of get back into a bit of editing at the moment, but it's just one of those things, guys, where the YouTube, we're not Skid Factory, we're not one of these big channels that make a heap of money off YouTube. It's just a subsequent thing that we do because of the workshop, which I do enjoy doing and I still like doing, but at the end of the day, does not take priority at all. So we've got so much stuff going on, so much, you know, happening. It is just one of those things that just gets, it's one of those things we get at it. I'll get to it when I get time, which lately I haven't really had much time. So you've seen Bo getting around. He's been working out awesome. He's been doing great. He had a few days off over the last sort of month as well, doing some other things, getting some stuff sorted. And obviously with him being on board, doesn't change much for us really, but obviously there's someone else that relies on our work too to, you know, feed their family, put food on their table. So priorities do change quite a bit now that we have an employee, obviously. But yeah, he's great. It's working out awesome. So there's plenty of sick stuff going around, plenty of cool stuff going on. Also last month, not to mention, apart from my health, we were without a dyno for 3 weeks. So that was a killer. Long story, but basically the dyno computer finally kicked the bucket. It's finally back up and running. We've got new software and a new computer. It's working out great, but it was obviously a big pain not having a dyno for 3 weeks. So I think that's a giveaway. HQ, dyno. Last month has sucked. Oh, another thing. A few messages I've been getting more and more of. I think it's because these boys are starting to really make some noise in the scene and doing really well. I've had a few people ask sort of what happened between us and Fish and Drift. Obviously, you guys know we sponsored the Fish and Drift boys last year. we tried our best to sponsor them last year, and there's been a few people obviously noticed that they're getting the cars tuned elsewhere, they're not running our livery anymore, and sort of just been asking what happened. So we're going to let you in on the whole juicy goss, the whole story. So yeah, sit down, grab a beer. So what happened was nothing. Nothing happened. So we're still really tight with those boys. So the whole reason it all came about with Brad starting to come to us and things like that was he didn't really have any tuners local that he wanted to go to. So keep in mind that those boys live in, I think it's Yeppoon, which is like 7 hours away from us. So every time he came to us or brought the car to us, it was a hike. But you know, it was sort of the best option for him at the time. We came up with a bit of a deal to do a sponsorship, and I'm gonna be honest, it worked out freaking awesome for us. We had a really good year as far as the sponsorship with them goes. Unfortunately though, you guys know we had a really bad year just generally work-wise last year, and health and stuff, and unfortunately we ended up in a position where we couldn't support those boys as much as we wanted to be able to support them, just because of the position we ended up in, which we sort of felt really bad. We really did let them down in that sense. But as far as the actual sponsorship went for the year, it worked. You know, as far as I'm concerned, we got more than our money's worth out of what the boys did last year. They even got, like, from Rocky and Nats last year, there was even, you know, news coverage, TV coverage of our business on their cars sort of thing, doing drift demos from Rocky Nats last year on the news. So, you know, it worked out great for us. No, like, you know, we easily tenfold got our return on investment as far as that went. But obviously, as you've seen, those Fish and Drift boys are expanding. There's quite a few cars now. One of the new blokes with the R31 that they've taken on, his brother is actually sort of, I don't know if he was already tuning or if he's just getting into tuning and they just didn't know him. I don't know what the go was, but he tunes up close to them and he's really switched on dude. So, you know, it made more sense for them to be taken care of by someone that's more local, closer to them, that they didn't have to drive 7 hours every time they wanted something sorted. So it was unfortunate that through that sponsorship, every time we had the R33.4, it always ended up rushed. We always ended up really pushed for time, which sucked. Obviously, you got it the first time, we put the Motec in it, but we didn't have our dyno. We had to tune it on Sam at Whitey's Wiring. We had to tune it on his dyno. Rushed, pushed for time, got it back, fixed the turbo, fixed a few other things, refabbed like all of the car and stuff, but still ended up tuning it on the dyno because of the crack that we ended up finding in intake manifold, which we weren't expecting. We ended up tuning it still on the day that they came down to pick it up. So again, just really pushed for time. Every time we sort of got to do anything with that car, we were always just rushed and pushed for time. We never actually got to just sort of sort it out properly and get it right, which was a pain. But either way, the boys up there at 11th hour tuning, I think they call themselves, they're looking after them boys now. Again, with that huge expansion, there's so many cars that we're probably not in a position to really be able to even sponsor the whole program anymore. There's just too many freaking cars. So yeah, literally nothing happened. We're still really tight with those boys. People in like the scene, I suppose, or consumers like to try and make drama and put a lot of ego, but you will find that most tuners, most people in this industry that are actually doing the work, there's not really that much ego. We don't really care. As long as people are getting good work, you know, it literally doesn't really make much difference to us. So we got a really good return on investment on our sponsorship. We helped them boys as best we could for last year. Everyone was happy. We've all moved on. Them boys are getting taken care of. And, you know, we're still really good mates. We still really hope that Brad will be painting our drift cars when they're ready. Hopefully that happens if they ever get freaking ready. But yeah, we're still looking forward to obviously getting some cars together and going driving with all them boys and stuff as well. But yeah, literally no drama, nothing like that. Everything's all sweet. Yeah, apart from that, here we are. Content's been slow, keeping off my foot. I've managed to sort of start to catch up on some content, but a lot of the content you're going to be watching is still January, February, like it's old. I've got so much content that I need to put out. Just again, time and getting to edit. We're 3 weeks out from King of the Strip at this point. The shop ute's broken again. It's not the same time it was broken for what you've already seen because there's still a few videos to catch up on, but it's broken again. So we've got this to fix. The cruiser desperately needs basically a birthday and a rebuild before King of the Strip in 3 weeks. So it's, yeah, it's hectic times. Hectic times. So anyway, I think that's about all I wanted to talk about. Hoping to have the HQ. I'm filming this on the 10th of May. Pretty much hoping to have the HQ on the dyno next week. That's pretty much my plan. Yeah, there's a few small things we're waiting on, which I'm hoping to pick up tomorrow. But yeah, we're pretty much at that point with HQ. Finally, it's taken a freaking long time and it's been a pain, which you'll see in the content to come, but super excited to be able to hopefully have that on the dyno next week. So yeah, plenty going on, guys. Stay tuned. Sorry that the content's been slow, but yeah, like I said, I really hope that one day, eventually, the YouTube takes off to the point where we are more focused and the YouTube is a bigger priority, but obviously at the moment we have other priorities, so it just falls by the wayside. Luckily for me, like the progress that gets made for the YouTube, it's not like it disappears when you stop uploading. And all it means is that I get to stockpile all this content, and you know, when I do get to it, you guys have heaps of content to watch, but there are just gonna be breaks and stuff like that because it's just the way things are. So yeah, you guys know that the workload's pretty big with all the things I've been trying to do. What I have been trying to work towards the past couple of months is basically trying to get more people involved, spread the workload out a bit. Bows work great, but there's a lot more going on behind the scenes as well, which is keeping us pretty busy at the moment, but hopefully further on in the year it frees up a bit more of our time to sort of be doing a bit more of this and giveaways and things like that. So we're still working towards that. Just figured I'd give you an update. Thanks for watching as always, guys. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace out, see you, bye.